Did adverse vaccine reaction become the leading cause of U.S. deaths in 2021 and 2022? No, that's not true. Adverse vaccine reactions are not a categorical cause of death tracked by health officials. Also, the vaccination status and records of deceased individuals are not tracked. In both 2021 and 2022, experts told lead stories that the leading cause of death in those under 65 was cancerous tumors. Over the same time period, the leading cause of death for those 65 and older was diseases of the heart. The data cited in this claim, which came entirely from online surveys, did not follow basic scientific principles. The claim originated in a NewsPunch article published on January 6, 2023, titled, "Adverse Vaccine Reaction Becomes #1 Cause of Death in America, Media Silent." The introduction of the article read, quote, "A new study has confirmed that adverse vaccine reactions have become the #1 cause of death in America. Scientists say they have uncovered evidence showing that COVID jabs destroys people's immune systems, cause heart problems, and trigger turbocharged cancers." End quote. Below is a screenshot of the article as of the time of writing. Source: NewsPunch screengrab taken Sunday, January 8, 1301. 002022 UTC. The NewsPunch article relayed misleading information initially published in a Discern Report story, which claimed, a survey by Steve Kirsch found sudden death as the #1 cause of death among those under the age of 65 who got the COVID jab. Other than in the headline, neither the NewsPunch nor the Discern Report articles explicitly stated or provided evidence that vaccine adverse reactions were the leading cause of death in the U.S. It appeared to be a clickbait headline. Rather, both articles cited a newsletter posted on the self-publishing platform Substack by Steve Kirsch, a Silicon Valley entrepreneur described by MIT Technology Review as a misinformation superspreader. Lead Stories has fact-checked a number of false claims made by Kirsch regarding COVID and vaccines. Posted on December 27, 2022, the newsletter was titled, "Now Everyone Can Easily Prove the Vax Should Be Stopped." Scientifically flawed measure of data in his newsletter. Kirsch referred to data collected during a survey, which he solicited responses for on his Substack on December 25, 2022. This data was said to have built upon an earlier survey with results published on December 16, 2022. There is no reason to believe that the outcomes of these surveys are credible or lend any credence to claims made in Kirsch's Substack article, in large part because the results of these surveys are inherently flawed. Responses were not reported in a legitimate scientific journal, nor were they reviewed by scientific peers to determine the quality of the data and the veracity of the conclusions drawn. To be considered scientifically sound, researchers must be transparent with the data that they collect and study. Kirsch provided no further information about the responses he said he received, including how he controlled for external variables like lifestyle or previous health conditions, whether he vetted the claims made by respondents, the demographic data of the respondents, including age, ethnicity, race, sex and geographic location, or whether he verified that the death and cause of death reported were authentic. Additionally, the value of surveys using self-reported information from participants, especially a survey of readers of an anti-COVID vaccine blog like Kirsch's, is limited as a method of gathering public health statistics about Americans overall. Sudden death. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, tracks mortality statistics and publishes this data. Lead Stories analyzed CDC mortality data and contacted the CDC National Center for Health Statistics, NCHS. In an email sent to Lead Stories on January 10, 2023, NCHS defined sudden death as the following, quote, "Sudden death simply describes the timing of death. It is not a cause of death. Many causes of death may be sudden, e.g., most deaths involving unintentional injury, homicides and suicides are sudden. A death caused by a heart attack or stroke may also be sudden. That said, not all are. In any case, NCHS data do not distinguish whether the death occurred suddenly or not." End quote. And because vaccine status is not tracked by the NCHS, there is no such thing as an adverse vaccine reaction cause of death. 2020 mortality statistics in 2020. The leading cause of death for both sexes, all ethnicities, each region and every race in the U.S. For those under 1 year old was congenital anomalies, or birth defects, 4,043, 30.6%. In those between 1 and 64, the leading cause of death was malignant neoplasms or a cancerous tumor, 161,540, 23.9%, followed by heart disease, 140,030, 20.